Hi, Preston Sandlin here with Home Inspection Carolina. And today I want to talk to you about the most common things that we find on a home inspection. This is not like a scientific list. It's just I've been inspecting now going on probably about 25 years. And somebody asked me the other day, what is the most common things you find on home inspection? I thought, that'd be a good video and a good blog post. And there's a corresponding blog post, which I will link to down below, that you can get the full list. But so I just sat down and I thought, well, okay, so what, in all these inspections we've done, not just me, but, I own a company that does probably about 7,000 inspections a year. What are the most common items? And and came up with this list. And again, these are not to be confused with the most expensive items, most dangerous items, or anything like that. Fortunately, most of those aren't that common. We do find them, but there's some items that we just find a lot. And so if you're going into a home inspection, this may be something you want to try to fix. All right, number one, dirty air filters. Dirty air filters, and then what happens is because of that, the condensation line gets clogged, the overflow pans get clogged, the safety thing goes off, it doesn't work, it's not working properly, and it all stems from a dirty filter. If you have a dirty filter, then that happens, and I could explain the whole process, but that would be a whole nother video. Just change your air filters. Number two, loose strike plates and hinges. Usually if a door rubs or sticks, sometimes sticks can be a weather-related thing, but if it rubs or it's loose, usually you can track it to either the strike plate or the hinges or the back of the hinges. The screws are loose on them. Almost every house has a few. We wind up tightening them down, but I don't know if all home inspectors are going to do that. They may write it up. So, get yourself a set of screwdrivers. Don't know if it's going to be Phillips or flathead, and go around to all your hinges, open up your doors, make sure all those are tight, and the strike plates tighten down as well. Number three, almost every house, shrinking insulation on the Freon line. Your Freon, your HVAC, your air conditioning has two lines, going and coming. One is the gas line and one's the liquid line. The liquid line is the smaller line. It's hot. The bigger line is the gas, because gas expands and it's cold, and it needs insulation on it because it's cold, because it hits the dew point with the humidity and causes condensation. So if it doesn't have insulation, or the insulation has shrunk and there's a gap there that doesn't have insulation, condensation is going to build up on it and drip. Thus you'll get little drippy spots in your attic or somewhere, and you're like, whoa, what's going on? Why is it, it hasn't rained in like a week, but it's wet. It's an it's a condensation air conditioning issue. And more than likely, you've got insulation that you just need to put more insulation on that line. It shrinks and deteriorates over time. Number four would be no anti-siphon devices on the hose spigots. Pretty easy fix. You just screw them on, tighten a little screw down. This prevents when you're running something through a hose that it doesn't accidentally siphon something back and pollute the potable water supply. Easy fix. In the bathrooms, the faucets either constantly dripping and or stoppers not working. Just go through all your bath and kitchen faucets. Make sure they're turning all the way off. They don't have a constant drip, and fill them up. All the stoppers are working. If one of those isn't working, it's usually a minor repair. Sometimes you got to replace a valve stem or something like that. But better to replace it on the front end than have it be a write-up. And then you got to have a re-inspection and all that. The more stuff that you have fixed prior to the inspection, the better off you are. Number seven, caulking around the tubs and sinks. Caulking wears out over time. So, as the seasons change, temperatures in your house change, humidity levels change, expands and contracts. And it can only expand and contract so many times. So it'll eventually, stretch out, whatever, need to be replaced. And then that brings me to number 8, which is the outside of your house, or, wherever you have dissimilar materials meet, usually window trim, door trim, and siding. They usually have caulk, especially if it's wood or, a organic substance. Expand and contract, that caulk can only last so long. It's got to be replaced. If that caulk gives out and it's failing, water gets in behind that caulk and it causes damage to the wood members, and it goes sucks it up, and it's just bad news. Just go over your caulk. Number 9, poor drainage around the house, lack of splash blocks. I know people mow the grass and different things happen, weed eaters hit it, but the idea is you always should ask yourself, where does the water go when it rains really heavy? Like we've had a couple of storms move through here that were remnants of hurricanes, dumping a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And if you have something like that where you got 3, 4, 5, we even had 12 inches of rain in 2 days one time. Where's all that water going? How's it draining away? And it should be going away from your house. If it's going up under your house against your foundation, that's the problem. So you've got to make sure that it's planed away, and not only that the downspout have splash box or extenders to get that away from the house, because over time, lawnmowers, things like that, knock them out. Got to make sure that water's getting away from your foundation. Number, what am I on? 10 that I wrote down. These are all mine. I just wrote myself notes here. Plumbing boots. Up on the roof, you have the transition from the roofing material to the plumbing vent. You have multiple plumbing vents up top. They're the little PVC pipe you see come out. And like an inch and a quarter, and then you got a 4-inch one, a couple of different ones. Anyway, the rubber plumbing boot makes that transition. Over time, that rubber, just like rubber on anything else, gives away and rots, and you get leaks there. I don't know the exact years that it lasts, but it usually doesn't last as long as the roof. So you need to replace those plumbing boots at least once during the life of each roof, substantious roof. But have those checked every so often. Another thing on the roof, this is that same note, 11, apex shingle. Apex shingle is that top shingle, if you've got a gable roof. Usually on the drip edge, I can look up there and see, and if it's a little bit older, it cracks. It's just when you have such an angle on that shingle, and over time, it'll crack, and you can see daylight, and it needs to be replaced. So cracked shingles is something that I see a lot. And brings us, one that I didn't have on here that I should have had on here is loose tullets. Almost every house has a loose tullet. Just tighten down those tullets. Make sure they're all tight, because if they're loose, there's just 2 bolts that hold down the tullet. If they're loose, it's a rocking commode, and that flange can start leaking. The last one is has to do with decking. 2 things, deck weather, splinters, and wood debris underneath the deck. So you've got to keep that deck in good shape. Make sure you pressure wash it, reseal it every couple of years. You don't want it to get really weathered where it's starting to splinter and just deteriorate. You can prolong the life of it, the deck, if you keep it pressure washed and sealed. And then the other thing is, the deck is pressure treated wood, but whenever you put wood underneath the deck that's not pressure treated, i.e. firewood, that's pretty much termite bait. You're going to attract termites, and underneath the deck is considered part of the crawl space. So in North Carolina and a lot of other states, if you have termites and wood debris underneath your deck, it's just like having them underneath your house, and you will be triggered to it'll trigger a full termite treatment, which is rather expensive, and you don't want that. So get that wood out from underneath the deck. And I hope this has been helpful. Again, my name is Preston Sandlin with Home Inspection Carolina. Check out our website, homeinspectioncarolina.com. We answer lots of home inspection questions, home maintenance questions, lots of videos on there, lots of help. We also have a YouTube channel, which maybe you found this on, Home Inspection Carolina. Just lots of stuff. We always try to be helpful, and if you have a question, please send it in. That's how we make the videos, is questions that we get. We just want to be helpful, and if send us that question, we'll try to answer it and maybe make a video on it. And if I don't know the answer, I will research it or put you in touch with somebody who does know. Well, this is Preston Sandlin. Please consider subscribing. Appreciate you taking time to watch the video, and thank you very much.